Sex assaults of underage teens are happening in Hawaii after the victim and suspect connect through online dating apps. The cases are prompting a warning for parents. Gina Mangieri is always investigating and finds out how easily kids can fall prey and what authorities and parents can do about it. Gina?
Joe, within minutes of setting up a profile, we found children can be connected with adults who could be predators on sites that can evade parental controls. We learned of several recent cases that have harmed young teens here in Hawaii. A boy meets someone he thinks is another teen online through a popular dating app, but at a meetup, the suitor turns out to be a man much older, and the teen is sexually assaulted. A teenage girl is drawn into an app by a much older adult male. Several more connections are made, and multiple sexual assaults ensue within weeks. These are some real-life horror stories that have happened to island teens using mobile hookup sites.
Sex assaults, rapes, sodomies, extortion.
That's Chris Duque, a former HPD officer, now a cybercrime investigator for the Honolulu Prosecutor's Office, with a warning for parents.
Is giving your kid a loaded gun.
He shows us just how quickly danger can happen. He sets up a profile of a young girl on one of the sites a recent victim met suspects on. Just say you're 18 and it starts, and the net quickly widens.
Okay, find people you know.
So this could end up in looping in a lot of other kids who never wanted to be in it.
Yeah, just choose, because then they'll send invites on your behalf to your contact list that you share.
HPD says that of their reports of sex assaults where suspect and victim met through an app, they've found juveniles are more vulnerable. Many cases involved drinking or drugs. HPD warns how on most sites, age policies and restrictions are not enforced or checked, so teens can and do join, just say they're 18. Adults pose as teens. There's fabricated interests and personal histories. They mislead kids about who they're meeting. A quick look shows many girls on one site are not the adults they claim to be, but the door is now wide open.
She's pretty young. I don't think she's 18, that's for sure. Location.
Yeah. Wow.
Show on the map. Interested in what they're interested in. And she's also on Facebook.
And of the suitors on the test profile, Duque sets it to seek other guys age 18 as well, but the system quickly makes matches with people far older than that. We stop at that, but here's what authorities say often happens next.
They start exchanging explicit photographs, sexual photographs, and then the party on the other side demands some kind of sexual activity. The child backs away. The person on the other side says, well, if you don't do this, I'm going to post your pictures on the internet. So they meet, and sometimes it's another teenager, sometimes it's an adult.
HPD cautions anyone who uses dating apps to be careful and make personal safety a priority. And it warns parents to get to know your kids' friends, what activities they like, and where they hang out.
Now we're at the point where we need to step it up.
The issue is on the radar of state lawmakers.
And I will be introducing legislation that would provide more funding for the Attorney General's office and other law enforcement that could help with these internet crimes against our children.
Senator Espero says regulating apps may prove too difficult because many are foreign-based or easily come and go from the market, but changes could be made for cellular phone providers and carriers to give parents more access and visibility into their kids' phones.
And at that time, I expect the attorneys, the lawyers, and the communications industry as well, ACLU, to come out and tell us what they think of it.
Until then, authorities say parents are the only gatekeepers. What can parents do to try to prevent some of the worst-case scenarios?
One of the things I really push on the parents is that parental supervision. I mean, be a parent. And using flesh and blood, traditional parenting, and just tweak it a little bit to the tech arena.
Duque also advises no mobile phones in the bathroom or alone in the bedroom. Be on the lookout for inappropriate selfies. Ask who they're talking to or texting. How often should a parent be picking up that handset and taking a look?
Pretty much, yeah, whenever the opportunity arises. I mean, which is, well, at the least one time during the day. Make it part of your daily conversation, interaction with your child, you know. And then when it comes to some parents, they say, well, I want to respect my child's privacy. And that's baloney. Well, I was going to use a stronger word, but it's baloney. It's pure baloney. I says, the safety of the child overrides their expectation of privacy. That's number one.
Investigators tell me kids aren't just using dating apps to make connections. It also happens on social media that many parents are familiar with. Now, lots of apps are available that promise to help parents monitor kids' mobile phone activity, but many kids quickly figure out how to get around them. So make sure you're as good at IT as your teen. And the best tip for parents: be involved and pay attention to any behavior changes. We've posted more tips on our website, KHON2.com. Gina Mangieri, KHON2 News.